Hello, in this video we're going to be talking about the muscles of the hand. Let's not waste any of your time. Let's get right to it. Now, when we're talking muscles of the hand, one of the things that we want to emphasize, kind of right off the bat, and we talked about this last time, is that the idea of the hand, and again, a little beefy part here, got a little bit over here, but for the most part, the muscles that operate the fingers individually come from the forearm, and we talked about that, where you can move these, and that's what you can see in the diagram there. So that's the one of the big take homes right there, and as you're collecting the notes, or pause this and collecting the notes, this is obviously the anterior, so we're looking in here, but again, you can, as we mentioned last time, if you just kind of feel, it's just a lot of you feel the bones very prominently, unlike your upper arm or your legs. I mean, you can't feel the bones at all. If you press hard enough, you can feel that they're in there. But that's the idea with the hand. It's those long tendons that kind of reach up and then pull those down, or operate those, release those. As far as the action. And here's an even better look at that diagram, and again, in the textbook and PowerPoint, and so now this is again, they're showing both sides. I said one side or the other. But the idea of, we talked about the wrist and turning that, and how that acts upon the ulna and radius. And again, the picture on the far left, the one farthest from me, again, you can see those layers of muscles that we also spoke about in the previous video. This particular screen here and set of notes references superficial. That's going to be the ones closest to the surface, and then obviously deep would be the opposite of that. That's more towards the middle. But again, lots and lots of muscles just in this area, leading up to the hand. So even though nothing really in here per se, a lot of muscles, and again, it's that layering that we talked about. But again, we'll bring the models over from Crowder, and we'll be able to look at and analyze those individually. All right, and again, same diagram, so nothing new there. But again, now we're talking about the posterior compartments, and we talked compartments. If you remember from last time, we showed that diagram with the color coded, and it had those when it was just a picture of like a cross section looking into cut off the bottom half of my arm and looking into those different muscles, and we had the posterior compartment, so that's going to be on the bottom, on the bottom part of that section. But again, just another four, in this case four muscles, and that's just one compartment, one of the four compartments. So it's an amazing amount of muscles that are in that section arm. If you were just to feel it, I mean, you can kind of feel different ones here. But you would think, okay, I got a big one there, I got a decent size. Well, I shouldn't say a big one, none of mine are big muscles, but got a muscle there, a muscle here. But again, if you just kind of feel along there, you can feel those different ridges from the different tissues both on each side, and obviously you can see them moving individually as you move things around. So that is the idea. Lots of muscles, okay, to get, for each finger to get the action done. All right, so one obviously situation that or condition that can arise from out of the hand and the wrist is carpal tunnel. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or not, but it's possible. But just the idea of, many of you, and rightly so, just the statement, not really a complaint. Maybe it is a complaint. I don't know. I take it as a compliment, but that's all right. The statement, oh man, lots of notes, my hand hurts, or you got to take a break halfway and start flexing your hand. That's obviously not carpal tunnel, but it is the idea of just repetitive motion with your hand. Muscles and things in your hand can lead to a situation where there is some injury, there is certainly some pain involved. People that type, it's not so much anymore because there's just so many different other ways of getting information into a piece of paper or a document. But 30, 40 years ago, when someone's main job in a company was just simply to type, sit at a typewriter all day long, and you're just typing. You can develop that. But it can be any motion. I mean, somebody on the assembly line that's just doing the same thing. Maybe they're just tightening down a screw, 1,000 times a day, or just doing something, whatever. And then that can, and it's just, a lot of times just, stop doing it is the obvious thing. But if that's your job, I mean, how can you stop doing that? So, there are some treatments, obviously ibuprofen, as it mentions there, braces, wrist, support, that kind of stuff. And but yeah, it can be a painful situation. Here's kind of a look. This obviously is the one on the far left is a real hand. And again, you can see those tendons. You can see that kind of that fleshy part of the beefy part of the base of the thumb there, and of course the fingers. And an odd way to show it, but the skin had just been removed except for the last inch or so of each finger, so you can kind of see all those muscles. But you can see those real tendons in there, and that's where because they aren't actual muscle tissue, they can wear, and from those repetitive motions, inflammation, they can get inflamed, and of course, and that just presses on nerves, and that's where the true pain comes from. All right, so continue to look at the hand. Another diagram just kind of showing you that idea of the muscles and tendon connections kind of a thing. And then they're talking about individual groups. The thenar group, as it says here, that's this fleshy part. There's the muscles associated with that. Give us that opportunity to use that opposable thumb, which gives us a distinct advantage over a lot of animals, having the ability to grasp something. Birds obviously can close around it, but like a dog, they would love to be able to do that. Although if you have a dog, and a lot of dogs are pretty skilled at positioning like a bone. They're going to chew on a bone or something like that, positioning it in between their paws and giving it almost the ability of the perception that they are holding it in place. I know both Avery the Lab and Penny the long-haired dachshund are really good at that, and Bee not so much. Bee basically just lays on her side and lays down beside the bone to chew on it, which really is not doing it right at all. So, but anyway. So, but again, lots of muscles. Just that section there. So, we've got 3 muscles associated with that. All right, our next group, within our group, the fleshy base of the little finger. That's obviously this section right over here. And again, you can see the muscles associated with that. It's kind of not so much, but it's part of the closing of the hand. And of course, pulling those fingers in and moving those around. And then our last group, the mid-palmar group, that's obviously named because it's the middle part of the palm, and that's where the true closing in, everything around it. And you can see each of those little sections. I mean, we've got 11 muscles in here that are associated with that group, that section right there. Well, that's our video over muscles of the hand. Again, a decently short one. So again, you're welcome. The next time we come together, we'll talk about the muscles of the lower limb. We'll see you then.